Hey mama, welcome back to Holistic Moms. I'm your host, Shan. Okay, so today we are going back to the basics. Yeah, I love to just point out simple things that we can do to just cut in and eliminate that overwhelming feeling of there's so much and there's where do I start and how do I do this? And just to take out that overwhelming factor, I like to go back to the simple basics. And so that's what we're going to do today is remind ourselves of those basics because we know them. We just don't always implement them. So let's be reminded and let's go back. And this is going to be a great note-taking episode just to jot down and decide which one of these you are going to do and start with. You're hopefully going to do all of them, but which one are you going to start with? Okay, let's go. So you want to pursue wellness and make sustainable change in your life? Get out of that rinse cycle in motherhood? But how? You have no time for you. You have no energy for you. And you don't even know where to start. Listen, I get it. I'm going to share how one simple, scientifically proven tool I use will increase your ability to reach your goals by 400%. What? That's crazy. I know. And add my secret sauce to that proves you are 95% likely to be successful in whatever goal you choose. Yes, I have the tools to help you. God taught me these simple strategies that only take minutes to seconds of your day. Schedule 1 hour for you. I know it's hard to even find an hour sometimes, but make it during nap time or rest time, or even if a kid interrupts, that's okay. This 1 hour will pay dividends because when you fill your cup, you can overflow to your children, and that's what matters most. Mama, you feel like you have no time for you and you are empty. You are. Schedule this hour and we will find time for you and get you filled up. Go right now to bit.ly/Shan Wright. Let's do it. Hey mama, are you stressed by the lack of time in the day to do all the things? Are you feeling disconnected from God, your husband, and even your kids because patience and presence seem out of reach? Do you want a healthier body, mind, spirit, and home, but overwhelmed in where to start? Hey, I'm Shan Wright, daughter of the king, wife, mom to 4, RN, wellness coach, and I know very well what it feels like to want to live well, but about to lose it with my very blessed full life. After realizing I can't pour from an empty cup, I tracked my way to whole body wellness and so much peace. If you are ready to cancel the stressed out life, learn tactical, intentional strategies as a mom wearing many hats, find more peace, confidence, and joy raising kingdom kids, then listen in. Come on, mama, together we got this. Really, God's got this. So go heat up that coffee again and turn your listening ears on. Let's chat. Okay, I'm going to start with a review, and this is left on Apple Podcasts, and it says, Shan is in my car, the go-to podcast for practical tips on managing your emotions, thoughts, and actually decision-making process throughout the day. Every time I'm in the car, Shan is with me. Thank you for all you do. I'm one happy mama here. Okay, friends. That's the simple kind of review I would love for you to leave, but also what I would love for you to take away is these practical tips that help with your emotions and help with those thoughts throughout the day that we are just prone to, and everyone's prone to these negative thoughts, right? So what can we do about them? So hopefully I am giving you practical tips that you can take with you and use throughout the day to eliminate some of those bad emotions, negative thoughts, all of that. And so that is from Aboveable. I'm pretty sure that's the name. Aboveable. It's one word. So if that is you and I just read your review, you can actually come over to the Facebook group and claim your free coffee. there is a post in the Facebook group pinned at the top, and it says free coffee. And so if I read your review, you put on there that that's your name. I read your review, and you claim your free coffee from me. So friends, anyone can do that. Not only are reviews just great for the podcast to grow and to get into more ears of women out there that need to hear it and need these practical tips, but it also, you can claim a free coffee on me. Aboveable, please go over to bit.ly/holistic hacks. That's our Facebook group, bit.ly/holistic hacks, and find the pinned post for your free coffee. Yay. Okay. So friends, this is going to be, again, back to the basics of life, of all of life. Like, what do we need? What do we really need out of life? If we want to take out the overwhelm of something, we want to get to the root, right? If we're like, this big situation, this big problem, it's just so overwhelming. It seems so complex. There seem to be so many moving factors, and it just seems big. I like to get back to the root. What is underneath all of it? Because that helps you solve the problem. It takes away all the distracting elements of what's going on and gets to actually the root of the problem. So something I like to say is wellness is not our default. Unfortunately, right? Like, we are just not going day by day and becoming more well and more holistically well without any effort. We're actually, everything around us is pushing against that. We have to be intentional to pursue wellness and to pursue shalom. And that's a good thing, right? Because all of that together leads us to be a more whole disciple of Jesus and to live this life that portrays him, that leads others to him, that advances his kingdom. That brings me to our theme verse for the podcast, and just what I like to base all that I do on is 1 Thessalonians 5:23-24. May God himself, the God of peace, sanctify you through and through. May your whole spirit, soul, and body be kept blameless at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. The one who calls you is faithful, and he will do it. Okay, there's actually so much to this verse, but what I want to point out is God is the one sanctifying you through and through. The God of peace is the one sanctifying you. He wants to lead us to peace. Psalms 23, he leads us to streams of water, to peace. He wants to always lead us into this place of rest, but we actually fight against that. And I think we bring a lot of resistance to that because of control and these expectations that we have in our head and anxiety and not trusting him. We're just not sure. And so we don't surrender everything and let him sanctify us. And sanctification is not an easy process. It's like pruning. I picture it as pruning, like he's sanctifying us, it's hard work, but if we surrender, he will lead us in peace to do that. He, again, wants to lead us in a peaceful way, not in a way where he's saying, daughter, I want this whole life to be really hard for you. He doesn't want that at all. He actually wants the opposite. Also in this, it's may your whole spirit, soul, and body be kept blameless. That's not a push for perfectionism in any way. That's more, it's recognizing the fact that we are holistic beings, and it's not just going to be something where you do these things with your body you do good works and you serve, and without your whole being a part of it. And so it's not to say we have to be blameless and not a sin on us and not mess up. So no, it's not that. It's this encouragement to live a life where you are constantly pursuing shalom and this wholeness in God until Jesus comes back, because that is what we're here to do on this earth, is to be disciples and lead disciples to Jesus. And then in all of it, He is faithful. He's the one. We just, again, surrender all our control. And an anxiety is, it can be looked at, we are being prideful and holding on to this control. And instead of trusting him, I know that's where I struggle a lot. I have to constantly pray, more of you and less of me, and let go of that control on a daily basis to decrease the anxiety. Okay. All right. I went on that for a little bit, but here we go. You don't know where to start. You don't know where to start in your holistic journey. You don't know. There's so much information out there these days. We are blessed with the internet. And that's why, you're able to hear me right now. We are blessed with so many things technology-wise and advanced. And in that comes an overwhelming amount of information. Who do I trust on the internet? Who do I trust out there in the world? Who has studied the most? Who's done the best scientific research? What do I do? Right? And we're just like, okay. Now it's overwhelming because I know I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that. And I was actually talking with some moms the other day, and someone said that she heard and she believes you shouldn't wear sunglasses because it actually trains your brain to think that, to train your brain and your eye muscles not to work with the light and not to adjust. And it actually can be detrimental to your vision. Where on the other hand, we know and we hear a lot that the UVA and B rays from the sun can actually burn your retina, and that can be detrimental to your vision. So it's like, okay, well, which is it? Do I wear sunglasses or do I not? Do I put them on my children or do I not? And we can just be overwhelmed. And then here I am, and I hear all of this research, and I'm just like, well, I just don't like how they feel on my face, so I'm just not going to wear them. Like, we sometimes are like, throw our hands up in the air. We're like, whatever. It's just whatever. I'm going to look at this situation and this advice and just say, yeah, it doesn't really mean that much to me. Because until we really know the facts, until we really know what it's doing to our whole body or what it's doing really scientifically, it's hard to put the action to it, right? And so maybe you care about your vision so much that you do want to find out what's the best one for you and whether you should be wearing sunglasses or not. That's the thing. Like, I know my one friend, she doesn't have great eyes and vision and eye health, and so she is always wearing sunglasses. So a lot of this is per person. We're very individual. We're very complex and wonderfully made human beings by God. Again, when this gets all overwhelming, just go back to the basics. Let's think about the basics. And so I'm going to give them to you today. And Dr. Lorena talked about this in her episodes 63 and 64. And she said what she does and what she tells a lot of her clients to do is just pray, to take out all the overwhelm and not to struggle in this area again of perfectionism, and to not be just frozen in fear of what I do, because there's a lot of fear out there from culture in all of these areas, is just to ask God, where should I start? And then choose the place that he leads you to, and then pray, God, can you just bless these efforts? You know what I want here in my heart. You know what my heart wants, and my intentions, help them be pure, and then lead me to a better, holistically well life, and bless that. It starts with prayer. So go back and listen to those episodes. I think they're really great, and they're going to help you know where to start here as well. And then the first thing we're going to do is remove something negative. So a lot of what's going on in our bodies these days is from toxins. There can be toxins that we voluntarily put into our bodies and on our bodies and in our homes. And then there's other ones that are just in the environment and all around us due to life in 2024. But there are things that we can do. And again, let's not get overwhelmed, and let's just work on one thing at a time. We don't want to look at our whole life and be like, wow, I need an overhaul. We can't do it all at once. So let's not even try. Let's just eliminate one thing that we are aware of is a toxic thing to our life or just a negative bad habit. Okay. So our body is made up of 37 trillion cells. And ultimately, when we are caring for our cells, we are taking care of our holistic body. So we've heard a lot about detoxing lately, just in our world, and we need to detox. But then you're like, okay, which one do I do? Detoxing can be anything. But yes, we need gut detoxes here and there. We need to detox from technology, from social media, from sugar, from self-talk, from negative influence. We need to detox from a lot of things, right? That's why we have vacations, but we have to be intentional about those things. So I actually have a camping trip coming up in the summer where I know I will not have cell service. I went last year and it was very, very patchy cell service. So now this year I get to look forward to an intentional cellular detox during that week. I'm actually really looking forward to it, but I actually have a new job and I have to do something every week for that on the internet. So therefore, I have to plan ahead. I can't just say, yep, I'm going to detox from my phone this week. No, I actually have to plan ahead. I have to do prep work beforehand. I have to make up for it on the back end. Like there's so much I have to do so that I get that detox. Same with doing a gut detox. You can't just say, okay, today we're going to start a gut detox. You have to know what you're going to do, what you're going to take, what's going to help you. And so we have to do this research and look into it and really think about it and pray about it and say, God, what is the one thing you want me to take away from my life right now? And maybe it's for a short time, like that 1 week of cellular detox. Maybe it's for a long time. Maybe you do a social media detox for a week and then you're like, wow, that felt really good. God, do you want me to keep going? Do you want it to be 2 weeks? Just talk to him and ask him about it and let him lead you. Surrender it and let him lead you to that. And maybe it's sugar, and I've done sugar detoxes and you feel so good. So then you're like, okay, well, maybe this is better for my body, right? And then you realize, more negative impact those things have on your life and how much of a toxin they are when you put them back in. So it's all a process, but just take away one thing. So I don't want you to sit here and say, okay, I'm going to eliminate social media, sugar, and self-talk and metals all this week. Nope, we're not going to do that. Dr. Lorena talked about taking away one thing and adding in one thing at a time. It really does help to think, okay, I'm going to take away a toxin because our cells, they can't just have more stuff added onto them. They're in a spot filled with toxins, so they actually need to be detoxed in some way. So we want to think about removing one thing and adding one thing. So very simply, just commit to that. Let's start there. Don't do too much. I know we have a bunch of high achievers listening, but let's not do too much, okay? Myself included. Okay, moving on. Sorry, this is getting a little bit longer than I had planned, but moving on, we're going to go to prayer. That's going to be the number one thing you can add. So we're going to talk about 4 things that you can add, 4 basic needs, okay? So if the first one is prayer, gratitude, or belief cards. And the thing is, they're all combined, right? It really is. They're all combined and you can call it what you want. Being that I was going to talk about this, one of the books that I love that talks about habits and building healthy habits is James Clear, Atomic Habits. I love that book. He is it's packed full of amazing quotes that I could have taken for this. And I actually thought I was going to pull one about just habits in general and building healthy habits. But I started looking up his quotes, and this is the first one that I read, and it goes with this first thing. It's hard to change your habits if you never change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behavior. You have a new goal and a new plan, but you haven't changed who you are. Gosh, I could put 10 million explanation points behind that quote. So this is why we do belief cards. And this is why, and if you don't know what belief cards are, you've got to go back and listen to episode 39, my number one life-changing habit. Okay, so that episode is basically that quote in a nutshell. But it tells you how to do it. And I give all my secrets away on how you do it and how do you change your identity and your roots and your belief system. So must listen to. So you can do that. That's going to be the number one thing. What he's saying is you can't change any habit until you do this. So let's listen to him. And if you are not solid on your identity, your kingdom identity, your beliefs, your prayer time, your gratitude time. This is going to be the one thing you're going to want to add first. So if you're not solid on this, like spend every day on this, and you don't have any negative self-talk, and you don't have, this could be the one that you work on. Okay. I'm not going to say that you have to choose this one, but maybe you're already practicing this and you're not solid on it, but you already have like a good habit built up of doing this. Okay. Then you can choose one of the other three. But if you're not, so for me personally, this is the one I'm doing. This is the one I'm choosing for this week because I am not in a solid habit of doing my belief cards at night. And my belief is we need to do them twice a day. So I've had seasons where I have done them at night, but I've gotten out of that habit at night because I'll tell you the practical thing is they're no longer up there by my bathroom mirror in my bedroom. They're not up there anymore. So I actually have to reprint them out and put them upstairs. And I have a note for me to do that today so that I can bring them upstairs and do them. So get practical. Find out what's going to help you build this habit of prayer, belief cards, gratitude. So again, go listen to the episode on belief cards. Twice a day is scientifically proven. That's going to get you further than just doing it once. And then praying. If you're not in the habit of actually praying and listening and being still before God and hearing what He wants to tell you, then try and work on that. Next one, sleep. Okay, so not getting enough sleep affects our whole life, our holistic life. And there's so many things listed if you look up what affects sleep and not getting enough sleep. But what I want to point out here is that on the list, multiple times in different words, is anxiety. There's anxiety, irritability, mood, like all of it is affected by our sleep. And I feel that. I get slangry when I don't get sleep. So it starts beforehand. And then the next day, when I don't get the right amount of sleep, it happens that day. So it is all encompassing. I get slangry when it's not coming soon enough and I still have to put kids to bed, but I'm really tired and I get really irritable, and then it comes on the back end. So let's try and get this one increased and get this into a good habit. The Sleep Health Foundation says that quality sleep reduces emotional reactivity. We know that's what a lot of our problem is, right? Reacting emotionally to things by 40%, leading to better mood regulation and higher emotional resilience. I love that term too, emotional resilience. Guys, let's do it as moms wanting to decrease our anxiety and manage our anxiety and our emotional regulation. Let's get more sleep. Okay, so how much sleep do we need? Well, women actually need a little bit more than men. And so we need 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep, according to the National Sleep Foundation. So they published a large study with 18 sleep scientists, and this is what they said. So there's different amounts for different ages. Of course, we know this as moms, but as an adult woman, you need 7.5 to 9 hours. And let's just not argue with it. Let's not say, oh, I function fine with 6. Let's not argue. Let's just aim for that, okay? So let's know that that's good for our bodies. And the Lord loves sleep too. There is so much about sleep and dreams in the Bible, and you can't have dreams if you're not sleeping. So there's so much about it in the Bible. I've written this verse out for my daughter who struggles with anxiety. And this is from one of my favorite books from Jody Burnt, Praying the Scriptures for Your Children. And she puts the scripture in, kind of translates the scriptures into ways that you can pray it over them and adds in their name. So this is actually Psalms 4, 6, and 8 kind of put together, very short and brief as she can. And it's, let the light of your face shine upon me. So there's a blank there. You can put the child's name, yourself, but we're talking about ourselves here. So let the light of your face shine upon me, fill my heart with joy, and let me lie down and sleep in peace. So much of what I was reading also is that anxiety increases when we don't get enough sleep. It also prevents us from sleeping. And you know that to be true. I have a lot of episodes on sleep, and I will have more to come for sure. but this is a verse that you can pray when you are struggling to fall asleep. You can just say it on repeat. My daughter knows it by heart. She'll say this verse as she's falling asleep. And so it is one where it just reminds you to rest and give all your anxiety over to him, and he will help you sleep in peace. Okay, so it's going to help your whole body. All right, next thing, water. We talked about water with Dr. Lorena. She's passionate about it, and she's passionate about how much you need and what kind. So you got to go back to that episode 63 and 64 with Dr. Lorena to know about water a little bit more. But we know that we need water, right? Our whole body needs water. Holistically, all our cells need water. It helps with our whole body. Okay, let's just say that. And so how much do we get? Well, it depends on the person's weight, activity, and environment can affect your different water needs. But let's just say on average, you need half your body weight in ounces. Example, 150-pound person needs to drink 75 to 150 ounces a day. Okay? If you're not doing that yet, you're gonna want to implement this habit. You're gonna want to take this on and say, for this week, I am going to track my water intake. That's part of the hard part, is tracking your water. When I have done other things, detoxes, and you need to get a gallon of water a day, it's hard to track the water intake. I know they have fancy water bottles that, track it for you, but I like my water in a particular way. I like it to be really cold. So find out what works for you. How are you going to drink the most water? And for me, it is in like a Stanley with a straw. That's my thing. So figure out what your thing is and figure out how you can track it, post it on the water bottle. I filled it up again, and so I'm going to write a tally mark, whatever it is. I've done a lot of different things. Also, you can grab my free wellness tracker in the show notes of this episode. So I wanted to say this about any of them. No matter which one you choose, grab my free wellness tracker in the show notes and mark it down, make it your own, print it out, put it somewhere so you can put your water on there and you can track on there your amount of ounces that you're getting. Okay, then the last one is move. We know this. We know we need to move our body. We hear all the studies that living an active life is really important. And we might feel that we're really active as busy moms, but that might be carpooling. It might be just running around town, and it might not actually be getting steps. To live actually an active life is more than 10,000 steps per day. And a somewhat active life is 7,500 to 10,000 steps. So let's just start there. We know being active is, again, very important for your weight, for your mental state, for your mood, for cardiovascular properties, for sugar, blood glucose, for all of it. Is being active. We need to do it. So let's just start at the somewhat active. If you're not already getting 7,500, you're going to start there. Let's just get 7,500 steps a day. And then if you're already getting that, then bump it up a little bit and say, okay, my goal is 9,000 steps today, every day. And this is really interesting. The National Institute of Health says just 2 to 5 minutes of walking after eating can help lower your blood sugar levels. So maybe, you break up your steps and you say, I'm just going to walk 5 minutes after each meal, and then I'm going to do one longer walk or workout during the day, and just see how many steps that brings you to, okay? And then the U.S. Center for Disease Control study reveals if you get up and move for just 22 minutes each day of the week, you cut the risk of dying from anything by 1/3. That is so fascinating, guys. We don't want to die by unhealthy life choices. This is a choice we can make. This healthy choice of walking and moving our body 22 minutes a day can actually be what we can do to prevent our risk of dying from anything by 1/3. So don't save it up for all one day. Just these small habits, 22 minutes a day, over time, build that healthy life. Okay? There you have it. We are actually doing a challenge over in the Facebook group right now, but we're going to do it again, I'm sure. So stay tuned in the Facebook group, but we are choosing one thing to eliminate and one thing to add, And so I want you to do the same, whether you're in the challenge with us or not. Just start any day and you say, this is my week. I'm going to remove one thing. I'm going to add one thing, conquer it. And then once you conquer it, then do it again. Okay. Over time is when healthy habits compound. So this is another James Clear quote, which these were the ones I thought I was going to bring, but small habits over time make a big difference. It is so easy to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making small improvements on a daily basis. We want to take the whole thing in and say, I'm going to do all this thing. And that's not what's been proven to work. It's a hallmark of any compounding process. The most powerful outcomes are delayed. That's from James Clear. We want instant gratification, right? That's our life. And that's not what's going to push us forward to making the best changes. But over time, healthy changes, small healthy habits will create that compounding effect that is so powerful. Okay, friends, join us over in the Facebook group at bit.ly/holistic hacks for this holistic challenge or for a future one. Can't wait to see you over there as we pursue holistic wellness together. Remember, your intentions are a hill of beans. We can't do this with just saying in our head we're going to do it. It helps so much to do it with people to hold you accountable to your intentions. I hope this was helpful today to just realize I'm just going to take one simple thing, remove it, and I'm going to take one simple thing and add it and build a foundation of a healthy, holistic, healthy life. You with me? All right, let's do it, friends. I'm praying this blessed and encourage you today. Shalom, shalom. Hey, Wellness Warrior. I pray that blessed you. And if so, it would bless me big if you would write a 5-star review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Not only would this make me super happy, but it will allow for others to find this show too. Also, I love to chat over on Instagram, so make sure to take a screenshot, share to your Instagram stories, and tag me at @TheShanWright so I can see it and we can keep chatting and bring other moms to chat with us. Until we get to chat again, mama friend, may the Lord's face shine upon you and give you peace.